Hello, Footballer Nation, and welcome to the greatest rising podcast in football. I'm Carson, and I'm a Cardsaholic.
I'm Alex, and I'm a Billsaholic and anti-Chiefsaholic.
I'm Ian. I'm a Bearsaholic.
To hear more about the anti-Chiefs movement that Alex is now starting, be sure to stay tuned for the rest of the podcast. But first, let's roll that intro. Hello, listeners, and welcome to Footballers Anonymous, the greatest rising podcast in
I need to
football.
cut you off because what do you mean I started the anti-Chiefs movement? Have you seen everyone on Instagram trying to boycott the Super Bowl? I did not start that. I would say this week it's you with the anti-Chiefs thing. Last week it was Ian with the Cars opinions. Like, why are we not being credible and honorable?
What?
And it's all season with your Bills win the Super Bowl take.
I never said they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Someone's gonna find it.
Josh Allen will get 2 rings this season.
I
Hey,
did say that.
Hey,
didn't I?
maybe they call off the wedding and he finds someone else. We don't know.
Maybe
don't
she
know.
says she won't marry him until he gets a Super Bowl ring.
Crazy work.
You know for a fact that his plan at the wedding was, instead of putting the official ring on her finger, was to put the Super Bowl ring on her finger. That would have been my plan, at least.
Yeah, because you're definitely getting a Super Bowl. Actually,
Hey.
no, that's more realistic than you getting a wife.
So true, though. Honestly,
Wow.
any NFL coaches watching, sign me. Sign me.
So much hate.
Sign me.
Listen,
I
I hate
got
the
the cleats.
more.
I got the cleats. I got everything. I got the skills.
He got the
Sign me.
skills.
You know
Kinda
who
like that,
else has the skills?
Kind of like that guy from Virginia Tech.
You mean
That
that guy from Virginia Tech, Colin Schlee.
is that his name?
That
Is
is
that
his
his name right?
name.
Colin Schley. What a name.
Colin Schlee is a great name. Colin
Honestly?
Schlee, come on the pod.
Yeah,
That'd be gas. Love to hear from you.
we would.
Ian, you mentioned signings. Alex, we know you love the signings of new coaching staff. Do you want to go through what's been going on there?
Well. Look what we have here. Another meeting between Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll in the same division. For people that don't know, they have an intense rivalry that's developed over the years, starting way back in college. The Stanford and what's the other college?
USC.
Thank you. The Stanford USC rivalry way back when Jim Harbaugh threw up 50 points on them for no reason. Then when they were in San Fran and Seattle and they had a heated rivalry going on and everyone knew it. They're back in the same division. It seems like Pete's life goal now is to mess with Harbaugh, and I'm all for it. But it's his 50th coaching season, so he can
Crazy.
really do what he wants.
He's a Raider now. We didn't specifically say that. He signed with the Raiders.
My fault.
You good?
In other news, the Cowboys are hiring Brian Schottenheimer. Okay.
As their head coach.
Yes, as their head
By
coach.
the way, has a horrible track record.
It's awful. It's so bad.
So bad.
There are so many
Keep
better
doing what you're
candidates.
doing, Jerry.
He
got it, Jerry.
He listens to Jerry. That's why he got the job.
You know. Did you guys see Jerry's justification for that?
Yeah,
What was
because he's like a yes man or something like that.
No, Jerry said the reason he did that was to show that he can. He said something like he did it to show that he can take chances or something like that. It was basically Jerry's way of saying, I'm a risky guy.
That's crazy.
It was Jerry Jones, we're going all in part 2.
Dog.
That's insane.
It's like the LeBron clip where he goes, I don't know why I did that. I'm just a
Listen,
silly guy sometimes.
It's the Cowboys. They also hired Matt Eberflus, of all people, as the defensive coordinator, so.
Yes.
Dallas Cowboys, it's over.
I mean, clock
defensive
management's not
mind-
necessarily great in Dallas anyway,
defensive-
so.
Eberflus's defensive mind wasn't horrible.
Listen, all I'm
Hey,
gonna
I'm
say,
Coordinator, so it's not the worst decision, but like it's still Eberflus, and I hate him. So
look, it's not uncommon for someone's old crappy head coach to move to the NFC East with a coordinator position and then be successful. Not calling anyone out. I'm just saying it has happened before.
you know what would make that team more successful?
What would make that team more successful?
Hiring that kid out of Virginia Tech.
Colin Schlee.
That guy, dude. Honestly,
I agree.
the Cowboys. If the Cowboys picked him, what number is their pick? Like 7?
I think they're 12.
Well, draft Colin Shiley, number 12
100%.
overall.
Assuming he falls that far, which I don't think he will. But maybe they can trade up. Maybe they can trade up. Alex is hitting those beef sticks right
Alex, I'm gonna take over on your little head coaching segment real quick, just to talk about these next two.
Sorry, yeah, I have
Chicago
to
Bears
check real quick.
are hiring Declan Doyle as their offensive coordinator. I don't know who you are, but you're 28. You're young, and I have faith in you, Declan Doyle. I think you're a great addition to our staff. And then what I'm really happy for, we're hiring Dennis Allen as our defensive coordinator, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. I'm totally okay with that. Yeah, that's just great. And we're retaining our special teams coach, which is pretty. I'm fine with that too. There was a chance that we were gonna get Darren Rizzi, but we didn't, and I'm totally okay with that. And apparently Thomas Brown is just gone. So
He's in New England now.
yeah, he's in New England now. So he was our receiver coach, then he was our offensive coordinator, then he was our head coach. Now he's just gone. So sorry, Thomas Brown. I'm so happy you replaced both Waldron and Eberflus, but I'm sorry. Back to you, Alex.
All right. The 49ers are hiring Robert Saleh as their defensive coordinator.
No.
Considering he worked there for a while, it makes some sense.
Very good move. Very good move.
No.
I expect him to be
No.
a head coach again.
I don't like this move.
He had his flaws as head coach, but I have a feeling that the Niners defense is gonna improve drastically and he'll get another shot.
Fortunately, this is a great move.
Mac,
by them.
we also have not necessarily a coaching move, but a coach making a move by the name of Liam Cohen. He said Duval for the first time. He said there's 2 different instances of him saying Duval. He said it for the first time, which was like a weird Jaguars Instagram thing where he said it in front of a bunch of people. That wasn't the bad time. It was during the press conference when he said Duval. How you know their team's not gonna be great that next year is the way he said it. He was like Duval, and I was like
Duval.
and a little weird smile on his face. He seems like an interesting guy.
Duval.
Who knows? Maybe he'll end up being pretty decent.
Sorry,
But
Jacksonville. Sorry, Jacksonville. It's not gonna work out.
No,
nah,
it's
that's
not.
Jacksonville. 1 week. Like, I mean, come on. You know what will work out though? It's Colin Schlee.
I agree. Colin Schlee will work out wherever he lands. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for it. Speaking of things that would definitely work out, so Max Crosby with the Raiders has taken to social media and kind of just been very open about the fact that he's not super happy where he's at in Vegas. And while Cardinals staff is already trying to make moves to recruit him, Cardinals player Mac Wilson, the best Mac, has already started recruiting him. He replied saying he would look pretty good in Cardinal red, and then George Kittle said something after that, like, no, I don't think he would, or something like that. But I mean, there were rumors of us trying to trade for Crosby during the season. Didn't happen. We ended up just picking up Baron Browning. But I mean, we've got I believe the 4th most cap space in the NFL coming into the offseason, so Crosby would be a pretty good addition to the squad.
You know who else would be a great addition to the squad?
No, Ian, I don't. Would it possibly be Colin Schlee?
Yeah, I mean, again, that kid out of Virginia Tech, man, he's just something special. Not really human. He's just like, honestly, he's a dog. That's what he is. But he's even a Cardinal.
He is a dog.
Yeah, he is.
A Wilson.
We have
Well,
another
hey,
Wilson. Oh,
Okay, yeah. You can speak on the Wilsons first.
okay.
We'll hit
Yeah.
the other name later.
So we have another Wilson, Michael Wilson, Arizona's wide receiver too. I love this guy. He just got married, so congratulations to the Wilsons. And more importantly, Michael Wilson liked my comment on Facebook from months ago.
Of all things.
Of all things, he liked my I think it was when the Cardinals announced their 2025 opponents. I commented something like, "This schedule is a joke," with a laughing emoji. And I just got a random Facebook notification today, and I'll usually just like click on it so the notification goes away. But I looked at it and it just casually said, "Michael Wilson liked your comment." And I'm like, "Oh, this has to be a fake account." I texted them, I was like, "Guys, I think some fake Michael Wilson." But no, it's the real deal. Michael Wilson liked my comment. And not only that, but Hillary Trubisky, again, liked 2 of Footballers Anonymous' stories today. So we're just We're
On a
we're getting
roll.
some connections, guys.
We're getting recognized by the goat's wife.
Multiple times.
Multiple
And
times, 3 times.
insider sources say that she did show those stories to Trubisky.
Insider sources. It's true.
Insider sources until they're totally legit.
Just
We
wait,
hope
we're
they're
gonna
like-
get Mitch Trubisky on the pod.
That's
One
actually
day.
the goal.
That is the goal.
That's it. Honestly, the day we get Trubisky on the pod, that'll be our last Football Anonymous episode ever.
We're
have
gonna get him
peaked.
on the pod like next week, and then we're just done.
That's it. We'll have peaked by that point.
We're gonna end Footballers Anonymous, and then a week later announce Footballers Anonymous 2.
Footballers Anonymous too.
It'll be amazing.
And then when Footballers Anonymous 2 flops, we'll announce Footballers Rivals, and that'll explode.
Like a video game with us in it. Footballer Rivals.
Who else will we
Speaking
put in that?
Speaking of rivals, I think it's a good time to talk about the rivals in college, like Colin Schlee versus the incredibly awful University of Virginia.
I mean, he didn't play in the game, but
Who didn't play?
Colin Schlee.
Oh,
He was injured. That was a Pop Watson game. But yeah, I guess. I mean, he still looked great. It was senior night. He went out onto the field and I was cheering for him. But that's about it. I don't know. He might have gotten some playing time the last time because 2 years ago Virginia Tech went to UVA and dropped a 50 bomb on them. So he actually probably did get some playing time in that game. Towards the end, like Trubisky type plays. Towards the end, some kneels while still somehow not losing yardage and stuff.
I would like to note, while we're on the topic of rivals, a Buffalo Bills divisional rival, the New England Patriots. Their safety, Jabril Peppers, was found guilty of cocaine possession.
Dude!
No, knowing what that man has done in his NFL career, I'm not surprised.
I mean,
Remember when he was on the Giants and they played the Saints and went to overtime, they won the coin toss. He was like, "Boom! We want that mother, man."
looking at the UFL,
Ooh!
they've started their QB clinics. There's quarterbacks a lot of talent,
I'm more
Yeah.
excited for this than I am for the Super
He's
Bowl,
trying, is
honestly.
making his return. He is. He's coming back to the Brahmas. Yeah. UFL. We're super excited to cover the UFL. Stay tuned. This is the first week of the UFL. We will be covering, and we'll be covering every week until the UFL Super Bowl. I don't know what they call
And
it. So just stay tuned.
yeah, and speaking of you guys got us 17,000 YouTube channel views.
Guys, that's insane. I didn't... what? That covers all of our videos, all of our shorts, all of our everything, just on YouTube alone. That doesn't count Instagram, TikTok, rest in peace,
Hey, it's
all
still
the other
live.
podcasts.
That's cool.
It's still alive. We're still gonna get 1 million TikTok followers before it dies. Confirmed.
Facts.
Confirmed.
And then the day before it goes down, we're gonna do like a Vex Bolts mass unfollowing and just like have everyone unfollow us and.
I'll take it. But you know who will be? You know who will be one of the first to follow us? Carson and Wild Guesses.
Is it that guy from Virginia Tech, Colin Schlee?
Got it on the nose.
Yes, I
You-
love that
hey.
guy.
You could say you threw a dot just like he would have.
Easily. Speaking of Colin Schlee, we do have everyone's favorite segment, Carson's College Knowledge. But before I do that, I have to point out these guys' bit because it's really stupid. But I understand they're gonna keep referencing Colin Schlee and then eat every time. Every time they mention
No.
Colin Schlee, one of them has eaten something.
So we had a little bit of a different thing. I did it every time he was mentioned in general. Ian was only doing when you mentioned him. So I could have done a lot less beef sticks. I'm already on 7. I'm gonna
7
stop.
beef sticks. That's awesome.
I think if I
I'm
have too many, I'm gonna just like tonight's not gonna be fun. So I'm gonna stop at 7.
I've downed 8 of these, and I was really hoping Carson would get it so I didn't have to eat anymore.
See, I
'Cause they're
wanted it to
they're
keep going for a
drying
little
out
bit.
my mouth.
I
They're
wanted
really
it to keep
drying out
going
my-
for a little bit.
No, it's true. Like you called it. We're done.
Well, I called it now, but I wanted to at least get through the first part. Anyways, so we have Carson's college knowledge for you. everyone's favorite segment that is currently confirmed in the polls. Football Anonymous Award isn't done yet, but Carson's college knowledge is up by 40%. So,
Wow.
just saying. We only got a couple things for you because it's the off season. What?
That's not my presidential pick.
Anyways, so we've got 2 Ohio State stars. I'm gonna butcher their names. Emeka Egbuka.
Nice.
Yep, I know. And Quinshon Judkins entered the NFL drafts. They had the most receptions in school history, and Judkins had the most scrimmage touchdowns in the college football playoffs by any one player. And the other big piece of news is the Virginia Tech Hokies have signed, I'm also going to butcher this, Sam Seifkes, oh geez, Arizona Cardinals linebacker coach as their new defensive coordinator. So, I'm sorry, Sam. I'm going to miss you. But also, I still have you. So, I'm good.
He said, goodbye, Sam. Hello, Sam.
That's me.
Hey, you know what you should do?
What should I do?
Once he arrives on campus, you should track him down and then like force him to give you a bunch of the Cardinals phone numbers and then just like
Yo,
all in them all and just wait for someone to agree to go on the pod.
that would be hype.
Tom Grassi's 1 million subscribers or $1 million stream.
Yeah, that's going to be the Thursday after the Super Bowl. It's going to be super hype. He's probably going to be streaming for a very long time.
Honestly, might be more traction than the Super Bowl.
Oh, he definitely. He literally yesterday, right? Yesterday was Sunday. Yeah. On Sunday, he gained on Sunday alone over 20,000 subscribers in one day. Cuz when we first saw this, I sent them a message and I was like, "Guys, he's only at like 780K." I checked today, he's at 804,000.
Listen, guys, Tom Grassi's doing that. Stay tuned.
Dog. Where's got that dog on the screen?
Stay tuned for the Footballers Anonymous 100 subs stream coming soon. we will be streaming nonstop until we hit 100 subscribers.
He's laughing.
Dog.
He's laughing, but this will
This is so
happen.
serious. I'm laughing
Please.
because of how ridiculous this will be, but it's true. We will stream for a week straight if we must. We will not stop streaming.
Please
We
subscribe.
will sleep on stream. We will eat on stream. We will do everything on stream until we hit 100 subscribers.
Please,
We're at
please
50 right now.
subscribe, guys.
So we'll see you guys there. We'll post a lot more about the details. Sooner than later, maybe eventually. It will happen though. It will happen.
It will happen.
Anyone want to comment anything on that?
No, I don't have anything.
Well, I don't have anything about that.
What else could you comment?
I don't know, Jim. I could comment about the fact that Abigail Baird 4213 said, I tried to hear him out until Planes was brought up. Lightning doesn't deserve this slander.
Was this
What's
on the
slander?
Lightning McQueen?
She's talking about your atrocious take that Planes is better
What's
than
slander?
Planes is not better than Cars 2. That's
All right,
No,
hold
it's
on.
not.
Hold on. I would like to bring some evidence for the jury. So we had a big dispute about what the best Cars movie was last
Correct.
episode, right? So we decided to ask Footballer Nation because Footballer Nation is the best community of people on the planet, okay?
All 30 of you.
All 30 of you. So we have the results, and as you can clearly see, you can't really clearly see, but Cars had 30% of the votes. Cars 2 had 60% of the votes, and Cars 3 had 10% of the votes.
I don't know why people vote
I
for
don't
Cars.
I don't know why anyone voted for Cars 3. That's honestly messed
But-
up. But
Yeah. Listen, my whole life growing up, the common consensus was that Cars was the best Cars movie. I don't know when that all of a sudden shifted in favor of Cars 2. Cars is still the greatest movie in my opinion of the three. I genuinely don't know when everyone decided Cars 2 is better.
you know,
But I
this
will stick with Cars 1. I respect everyone else's opinions, but Cars is better in my opinion. And
This-
the Planes comment was just pure rage baiting.
one thing we could, assuming our stream is gonna be like a whole
Ours-
week long,
ours-
we could do a watch party. We could do a watch party, right? That'd be gas.
You know what we should do? We should watch Planes, Fire, and Rescue, but the whole time we're just booing it.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
You know what I have to say about Planes, Fire, and Rescue?
What?
He's not him.
You know who else is not him?
Who's not him, Ian?
Well, listen, all right. This guy was former legend, all right. There's once a time in his career where a lot of people consider this guy one of the best. But last year, his team was just like, we don't like you.
Not
He was
Doc
like, why?
Hudson.
And he was like, well, because you suck. That guy's name is Washington Commanders running back Austin Eckler.
Mm,
You did nothing in this game. You had 8 carries, and you only produced 15 yards off that. That's less than 2 yards a carry. And you had 7 targets, which you only hauled in 5 of, which isn't bad. But you only got 17 yards out of those. You're barely averaging over 3 yards a reception. So not only did you have less than 50 total yards, but you also had one of the game-ending fumbles. You fumbled and you contributed to the loss. The Eagles put 55 on the Commanders' head, and Eckler, you only aided the Eagles in this game. So that's why you're not him this week.
Notice
But
how
we'd love to have you on the pod. I loved watching you on the Chargers until you weren't the best and they let you go, which I thought was a crazy decision at the time, but you're not him.
the not him award isn't going to Matt Collins.
just because he's a bum.
Okay? It's because no one
Did
expects
you see him Sunday?
He made a catch. Congratulations. He caught a ball.
He made
Do you know
a
how many times?
three.
Do you know how many times I've made that same catch?
Did you make it in the AFC Championship game?
I will make it in the NFC Championship game one day. Did he make it in the Super Bowl?
That's cold. That's
Dog.
cold.
You
Um,
act like that's
so-
his fault.
Did he?
So, I think the Bills, because of that, they were eliminated this
Listen.
week.
I'm going to tell you why Matt Collins had an okay game this week. One, because there's something about Buffalo wide receivers wearing number 13 in Arrowhead. Looking at you, Gabe Davis. And two, 13 is Taylor Swift's lucky number. So
That's
because Taylor Swift was at the game, Matt Collins caught a stray of that magic and did a little bit okay because his number is 13.
Oh.
Well, we also gave James Cook the ball 13 times and he ran for 85 yards. Only 13 times, but anyway.
James did cook.
He cooked, we just didn't give him the ball enough.
No, you guys
Correct.
did not give him the ball enough. But yeah, that's your not him award of the week.
Because of that, the Bills were eliminated, which means we have to take a minute to honor the teams that fell this week. Fortunately, Alex, I do apologize. But first, before we get to them, we have to start with the Washington Commanders, taken from us through cardiac arrest. Cardiac Commanders. The Buffalo Bills losing 4 games of the same caliber in a row. Not a new feeling. The Buffalo Bills. Well, thank you for your silence. Anyways,
Only 2 teams were eliminated this week, guys.
yeah. And yet still America lost.
Well.
But getting into that, we have some questions from you guys. In our segment, we asked you to ask us questions and we answered them. We have
Still the best.
this is the best name easily. We have 3 questions for you guys today, all of which were asked by listeners and not by us. So that's pretty cool. The first question is from this guy named Ethan. Ethan asks, why do the Chiefs exist? Ethan, that is a great question. Well, moving
You want us to
on.
do, like, a history lesson or something?
I don't know. Moving on to our next question, we have Charlie asks, specifically to Alex. Hey, Alex, how's Cancun?
It's pretty good. We actually,
Charlie, wouldn't you know?
yeah, exactly.
Ian and I have been having the greatest vacation, bro.
Charlie,
We are
you've already
living
been
it
there
up.
for a week.
Yeah, I don't know why you're all asking me how's Cancun when all y'all have been there for the past while.
feel like you should be the
Oh,
one.
We do.
Hey! I'm just
What do
reading.
you
I'm just
know?
reading the
No,
question.
no. I'm sorry. That was the Ravens, not y'all. That was y'all, the Ravens and fans.
Okay. Just want to point out, since you went there, which one of us has made the most recent Super Bowl?
Yeah, because you won. You definitely won that one.
Oh, because you won yours.
We've at least been to more than one in our
And you lost
hundreds
them
of years
all.
of existence. Hundreds of years of existence and one Super Bowl.
Not hundreds of years of existence. It's
Hundreds. Singular.
Well, you know.
it's
what I
just
mean.
100, okay? And besides, that the Super Bowl didn't exist for that long. So people are all like, the Cardinals are the oldest team and they still don't have a Super Bowl. Yes, that does suck. But you also have to keep in mind, it's not like that whole time the Super Bowl existed. It's not like we lost to ourselves.
Yeah, people
Genuine
forget.
question.
people
How many
forget that
NFL
team is
championships do y'all
weird.
have before the Super Bowl?
What?
I don't know. I don't know about how many NFL championships any team has ever had before. I don't know anything pre-Super Bowl era. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm thinking about
I
this.
mean, all I know is before the Super Bowl era, Ian and I had the same team, so
Pretty much. Well, no, because we had the Decatur Staleys.
oh, true.
You
We
guys may
we
have been
were the Chicago
Cardinals.
Bears,
We were the
and then
Decatur
we were the
Staleys.
Chicago Cardinals, and then you were the
Yeah.
Chicago Bears, and then we were the St. Louis Cardinals and the Arizona Cardinals.
You guys went to St. Louis?
We did.
I did not know that.
Did.
Wow, so St. Louis had 2 St. Louis Cardinals teams.
Correct.
Then y'all got replaced by the Rams, and then the Rams left St. Louis.
Yeah, poor St. Louis doesn't get a Super Bowl team.
I believe both the Cardinals and Bills have two championships before the merger.
Well, still 0 after.
Y'all are riding on 1985.
So, what are y'all riding on?
So hard.
I'm riding on a Super
Riding
Bowl
on-
appearance this century, so you know.
Hey, me too.
So is Ian. Anyways,
And we got to watch them.
yeah, this is true.
Yeah, because y'all definitely have recollection.
No, I do actually.
Oh, really?
I mean, I was 4. I wasn't like a newborn. I did
You
watch
know,
it.
I can still
Remember
very
your
vividly
I don't
see
remember
Devin
anything
Booker
from
turning
when I
that
was
kick.
4.
Wow,
Anyways,
what a time.
Bro. We do have one more question. And this one's from Tanner, and this says, did Xavier Worthy really catch the ball, and did Josh Allen cross the line? And to answer that question, when we talk about the Bills-Chiefs game, I, with my amazing videographer skills, have put together the best angles of the game, frame by frame, that we will go through to answer your question. I know, I cooked. I spent like 3 hours. I was texting Ian for a bunch of it, like finding videos. It was very fun. And I think I found the best one. So we'll go through that. But first, we do have to talk about the first game that happened this weekend, the NFC Championship. The Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles.
I have a crazy stat for y'all. Obviously, the Eagles won this game. If you didn't watch, it was not particularly close in the box score. So obviously, that means the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. Since the A.J. Brown trade,
Oh, I know what this is.
A.J. Brown has more Super Bowl appearances than Traylon Burks has receiving touchdowns.
Crazy.
Nice.
Crazy. But yeah, this game, Giants fans, look away if you even can. Saquon is the game started out with the Commanders. How long was it? 7.5 minute drive.
Something like that. It was very, very long.
Very long, and it ended on 3 points. The Eagles' first play of the game, 60-yard touchdown run.
Which I
By
called before it
Saquon.
happened, not on purpose. I said that the
Yeah.
play would end in a Saquon Barkley touchdown, and it started on a Saquon Barkley touchdown and ended on a Saquon Barkley touchdown. I predicted a lot of touchdowns.
The Eagles were running all over him, Saquon and Hurts specifically, and the pass game was honestly looking not horrible. 55 points in the NFC Championship game is crazy. I would just like to point out real quick, in their first meeting this season, Philly won 28-16, and they combined for 44 points. So Philly already put up more points in this game than they did in their first meeting combined. And in their second game, Philly put up 33, Washington put up 36, for a total of 69. And Philly was 14 below that by themselves in this game. They combined for 78 this game, which Philly put up 55 of, but it's still impressive nonetheless.
Cardinals fans are all safe for not watching Cliff Kingsbury get a ring.
Shout
Kind of
out
rooting
the-
for the Commanders, but at least I'm safe there.
Shout out to
And
people who want to get a ring on the Eagles: Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, and Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson, I love you. You're so good at football. I was really upset when the Commanders traded you because I didn't think you'd be getting a lot of playing time. But now you're going to the Super Bowl. I want you to get your ring. Come on the pod, please. You're one of my favorite receivers.
The Commanders won't be getting their ring this year, but Jaden Daniels' mom is also kind of denying another ring as well. He's gone out and said that she's going to make sure he stays single.
Yeah, she openly said that there will be no girls for Jaden Daniels, and she will make sure that he doesn't date, I guess.
Crazy.
So
Or Jaden Daniels.
he just kind of laughed when he heard it, but like, wow, that really sucks.
You know what else sucks? Dallas.
Real.
Before the game, both Commanders and Eagles fans were just chanting Dallas sucks, which is hilarious. And Dallas, you suck.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
A little insight for Patrick Mahomes. The refs can award points apparently if you go commit the same penalty over and over. And
We learned this at the climax of the entire game. The best drive I've ever seen.
let me tell you what, I think they're gonna end up calling us in the Eagles-Chiefs game.
They'll find a way.
Frankie Louvu, number 4, when the Eagles got right to the 1-yard line, just Air Jordan style, shot above the defense and
See,
went.
I don't think Air Jordan's a good person. It was Troy Polamalu style. Let's be real.
Okay. So he flew over twice in a row for onside calls. The refs issued a warning to the Commanders, and they were like already basically at the goal line. And then they jumped off sides a third time, and the refs again warned the Commanders. And this time they were basically like, just so you know, we can award points. So if this just keeps happening, we'll just give them the score. And part of me kind of wanted them to jump again just to see it happen,
Yep.
but
I mean,
it's
you could
okay.
see he was twitching. He was so active back there, just waiting to jump
Love
the
that.
line. It was funny, and then they scored anyway.
It was.
I
It
think the
was.
announcer deemed it a 3-inch rushing touchdown.
Yeah, something like that. It was so funny. Best part of the game for sure. Disappointing way for Commanders fans to end the season, but honestly, they had a great run coming into it, so no shame for them. They'll be back. And then
Agreed.
we have what I would argue was America's game of the week. The Bills at the Chiefs, which ended in a 29-32 Chiefs victory. Alex said he would not talk about this game. I will respect that. So we will briefly go through all of our little talking points and our thoughts on the game before we go through the final highlights for the climax of the
Real
segment.
quickly, before we do so, just want to shout out the Chiefs for finally scoring 30-plus points in a game this season.
They did do it finally.
It's the first time that they've done it all season.
Shout out to them, I guess. Took the NFC Championship, and it was only 32. But first, we mentioned Mac Hollins earlier. He showed up dressed as Animal from the Muppets. So that was kind of cool. Not really.
And then went off. He was an
Okay,
animal.
He had 2 good catches. He had 2 good catches, and it was because he was wearing number 13.
Okay, and again, like,
I could name so many other washed receivers who have had 2 good catches. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing.
y'all hating on Mac Collins.
Yes,
This
because
was-
it's Mac Hollins.
The entire point of our offense is to spread the ball around. No one's getting an insane amount of catches.
Oh,
his
that's why he threw it to the Chiefs those times. Gotcha. It's too bad they kept dropping it. Spreading the ball. It was super effective on the first drive.
Anyway, shut up, Josh Allen watching deer highlights. There's a viral clip of people showing a deer Josh Allen highlights, and then there's another clip of a deer watching a Bills game through someone's window. So the Bills media team showed Josh Allen deer highlights.
Shout out the Bills media team for probably being the best media team in the NFL.
One of, if not the best, yes.
They're up there. I would say they're the best.
Yeah, they're number 1. I'd say the Chargers might be number 2.
Chargers have that.
I've seen a lot of Chargers media team stuff. I think, but the Bills, yeah, by far the best.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
when the one guy was like, "What's my name? What's my name?" and no one knew his name, and then Josh was like, "Oh, what's up?" Like, not now, Josh.
That was funny.
That was a good video. I enjoyed that one.
I enjoyed that one.
The all-time great of Josh Allen. If you make this shot, I'll give you thump. I love
I
that
haven't
one.
even said what I haven't even said what I'm gonna give yet.
That's probably one of the greatest social media videos I've ever seen.
That was
Shout out to Bills media team. Come on the pod.
Come on the pod. Edit the pod.
Trust me,
Bro,
I'll
imagine
trust
the
you.
Bills media team editing the pod.
It would just be Alex the whole time.
That would be
Exactly.
kind of crazy.
That's what the people want.
Bro, you think showing the deer Josh Allen highlights is awesome? Imagine showing a deer footballers anonymous.
Just showing a deer us debating about cars.
That'd be hype. Okay,
He hears-
so
The deer hears your atrocious planes greater than cars 2 taken, like, just goes and finds you
Hey,
in the middle.
Maybe my rage bait would have worked on it too.
definitely did. Okay, so now we've got plenty of time. We're gonna dive into our frame by frame breakdowns of 2 questionable Chiefs plays that happened this game. Okay, so up first we have the Xavier Worthy catch. This one happened on 3rd and 5. The Chiefs needed to do something to score. This is going frame by frame. Mahomes makes the throw, and Worthy goes to catch it. It almost looks like it's picked off, right? And then he lands. Okay? So that's that play. Here we've got the side angle. This was initially called as, I believe, it was a reception for Kansas City, somehow. So we take a closer look, okay? That looks like interception, but then maybe Worthy gets it back there at the end. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
I will say, who's 24? Is that Norman? Not anymore.
Bishop. Someone
Just
named
Bishop.
Bishop.
I don't
Cole
know.
Bishop.
But it doesn't look like he has possession of the ball himself a single time. Not enough definitive possession to call it a catch. I think he probably has his elbow around the tip of the ball, but I don't think that would have been an interception at all. Especially with how
Oh
much
no,
Worthy is contesting it.
No. It definitely was not an interception.
that's not what I'm.
So the refs decided that this play was going to be a reception, and Sean McDermott did challenge it because the ball hits the ground. So we can look at it from this side. The ball does hit the ground. Okay. The referees said that he was pinning it against Bishop. Worthy was with his free hand. But if you look at the ground, they argued that the ball doesn't really shake when it hits the ground, which proves that he did have full control. I will say it doesn't bounce much.
Down. I can understand that claim of since there was pretty much no movement by the time it hit the ground, that there's enough possession in that situation. And another thing to think about too is just the fact that the ground can't cause a fumble. Um, but it really is a tough call. Probably should have been called incomplete. It's definitely leaning more towards incomplete just because. But I do understand the claim of because it didn't move a lot when it hit the ground, and I think that's pretty good evidence to calling it complete. But I think in this scenario where he barely had his fingertips on the ball,
His hand actually got
and
removed for a good if you want to go back, like his hand definitely gets removed at a point in the process of making that quote unquote catch.
So you can see the ref's view right here. You can see the ref is standing behind them. So I can definitely understand ruling that as a catch if you can't see
yeah,
their hands in the ball.
Yeah.
That's just kind of unfortunate placement. And he does come out with it at the end, so it does kind of look like a catch from where he's standing. I wish I had a camera angle from that side so we could see what the ref saw.
well, okay, but it's not like he had it and then let go and then had it. You could see him like wrapping around it as he's going down. You're talking about right there. Like that's clearly him he wrapping around it. That's not him having it, losing it, and then having it again. That's him grabbing it and then pulling it in. So he could probably just be pulling because it's clear that his arm is wrapped in between Bishop's arms. So it could just be
Right.
that as he was pulling down, the reason why there's not a lot of contact between his hand and the ball is because he's pulling down on Norman's arm, who's coming down with him, and Norman's kind of like pulling it down with him. But this was the angle that I saw when I saw the initial play, and I couldn't really. To me, this angle looks like a catch until it hits the ground. Then it's up to debate. But I think the final angle is really the best one to demonstrate. I mean, I do think he had possession as he was going down. That's clear possession to me. He clearly had the ball. It's just the fact that it hit the ground with no support underneath it that was what should have made it incomplete.
Yeah, I think that's the spot for me. Yes, you're looking for conclusive evidence that the initial call was wrong. And I think here you don't get initial evidence that the initial call was wrong. I think personally this is an incomplete pass, but based off of the way it was called at the beginning with unfortunate ref positioning, I think the fact that it was a call to catch is reasonable.
Yeah,
It's reasonable.
I agree with Carson. It's one of those cases where you're reviewing to overturn. It's not if you're reviewing to overturn the call. That's what McDermott was challenging for, to overturn it. They're reviewing it to potentially overturn it. And you need conclusive, firm evidence in order to overturn a call. But between him having his hand on it going down and it not moving when it hits the ground, It's just not super inclusive, or not. It's not super conclusive evidence to be able to overturn it, and that's where NFL rules get kind of shaky when you're in terms of overturning callings on field, because a lot of the time they give benefit to the original call.
Right.
So
Right.
it
Which has an
that's really
important part in both of these plays.
it's just really what it comes down to. It's just there's just not enough evidence to conclusively, confidently overturn the call.
Right. Okay, so there you go. There is your replay of the first play. Before we continue with the second and probably the more controversial of the two calls, it is worth noting, first of all, personal note to the NFL. Dear NFL, because I have these replays in this video, you are probably going to copyright me. And you know what? I really don't care right now. So this is going to be in the video regardless. If we can't monetize it, whatever. We can't monetize any of our videos right now. So that's fine. But also, you should totally let us because that'd be really nice. Second, before we get into the next play, it is very important, and we will go over it before we actually talk about the call itself, to understand how the referees make the decisions, because the way that they do things is super important with this next call. So we're going to jump into that one now. Okay, so this second play in the fourth quarter is a pretty big deal. The Bills at this point are only up by one score, and it is 4th and 1. So naturally, the Bills decide to do a tush push. Keep in mind that they had previously failed. I believe it was 3 tush pushes before this. I know it was 3.
Which I don't know why they didn't go to the right a single time.
I don't either. This whole thing was just a poor play call to begin with, but they went with it. Okay, so here we see, Josh Allen from this angle looks pretty straightforward. Looks like he got it, right? The important thing you need to know about these types of angles that you see on the broadcast is unless you're directly looking at the 50, the way that the camera is angled is going to have a big impact on your perception. So we all kind of just assume that he gets it. So before we get into this, we have to understand exactly how the ref process works in deciding how this call is going to play out. So the guy to the left side of the field down at the bottom of your screen, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this, but I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible. The guy on the bottom of the screen, he is the line judge. He and the guy on top of the screen, the head linesman, they basically have the same job. And they are trying to essentially figure out if he made it past the line or not. To do so, they kind of both have to. They have this whole. Someone I watched called it basically a mating ritual, where they both walk in towards and they kind of look at each other, make sure they're on the same page, and then make the call. So first, we're gonna go ahead and look at the right side because that's the side where you can see the ball. That is what your head linesman is seeing. Okay. These side views are really the only views that you can find where you can get a specific location of where the ball is to the line without any sort of angles interfering with that. So, you can see Josh Allen. He's making his first push. He doesn't get it, right? You can't necessarily see the ball, but you know it's in his hands. He's not even past it yet. It looks like he's not going to make it, and then they make a second push. There's the ball. We can see the ball. And then the ball goes away. Okay? We see Josh Allen's head moves past the line and then he gets pushed back. We cannot. The most important thing is that with this angle, you do not see the ball past the goal line. You can infer, you can totally guess and assume, because it looks like his whole body moves, that the ball moves past the goal line. But there's no concrete evidence of it doing so. Okay? And then he gets pushed back. All right, so now let's look at what our line judge sees. The line judge, we don't even need to watch this one frame by frame because you can't see the ball from the line judge's perspective. You can only see Josh as a human being. Okay? So he doesn't see anything, at least with the ball. So he's just making his best call based off of where Josh Allen. So keep in mind, we are looking at this frame by frame. The refs are watching this in real time. So we go back to our friends. The two refs are two judges, okay? First up, the head linesman, even though he has the view of the ball, clearly he's not really sure. He doesn't make any call. This is where a lot of people get things confused. People say that he initially said it was a first down. This is not true. He doesn't say anything. He is not sure. He has his hands down. Okay? He doesn't know. He's looking to his line judge because they're trying to get on the same page. Line judge, he doesn't see any call from the head linesman. Because of that, he assumes that, well, head linesman probably would have seen the ball and said, oh, yeah, that's good. So linesman doesn't say anything. So line judge is going to mark it as a fourth down. Okay, that is very important. Obviously, the line judge will then agree with him. They'll even discuss it, still agree. Obviously, it gets reviewed. This is where these camera angles become important. This side angle that we saw is the most important piece right here. Even though there's honestly a very good chance that the ball probably does pass the line here. It's hard to tell because you can see Josh's elbow kind of stays more than his head does. But we can still assume that, at least like what Gene said over the broadcast, there's probably a good chance that a third of the ball did cross the line. The only issue there is that indisputable evidence thing that we talked about earlier. Unfortunately, technically, you don't see the ball cross the goal line, which is not indisputable evidence to contradict the call that the refs made. Hence why the call eventually. That's my take. It's probably honestly, it probably was a first down. But with just the way that the system of refereeing and video review works, they did their job correctly according to the rules. And it was by no means Chiefs bias, and this is coming from a very big Chiefs hater. The internet is probably blowing it out of proportion.
I completely agree. I personally, I don't even think a third of the ball probably crossed the line. Just from the angles that I've seen from what I've seen of it, I think if any part of the ball touched it, it was just like the tip. I don't even think it got past the, you know, if you know football, not NFL football, most footballs have the white line. I don't even think it probably hit the white line that would have been on a football. Again, the Chiefs helmet is covering the ball. There's no conclusive evidence to be able to overturn the call, and again, that's what it is. It's looking for enough evidence to overturn a call, and there just wasn't enough of it. This is the best angle you could have gotten to overturn it, and the helmet just makes it difficult. So, I mean, by definition, by textbook of what they're supposed to do, it's a good call. Now, was it a great call? It's controversial, so no. But I think at the end of the day, I mean, like Carson said, that they did their job. So, and there wasn't enough conclusive evidence to overturn the call.
We've definitely seen a lot of bad referees in the NFL, particularly when it comes to the Chiefs, and I think that's a big problem that has swayed people kind of just assume that these types of things are ref help. However, this was a very good refereeing job. Uh, the internet won't admit that, but they did their job correctly. And if they had called it as a first down initially, it would have been a completely different thing. Unfortunately, that's just the way it went down, and it's unfortunate that that's what it took to bring the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. But this was not a bad job by the referees. There you go. That's your instant replay. Those are the takes. Alex said he didn't want to talk about the game. Didn't. Completely understandable and fine. Devastating that we got a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl again. But before we end the podcast, we want to get into some brief winner predictions for the Super Bowl. And I'll let you go first.
I'll start right now. The Eagles are gonna win. I'm taking the Eagles. I think the final score is gonna be, let's go 36-24. And my stat prediction of the game is that Saquon will rush for over 200 yards and at least 2 touchdowns in their win.
I think Chiefs are winning it, unfortunately. I think defense will carry because that's kind of what they've done for the Chiefs all season. Is the defense has carried. I've kind of just accepted it. I'm rooting so hard for the Eagles, and if the Eagles win, I will take that L, my worst take ever, and I will be very happy. Honestly, probably I'm gonna say 24-28 Chiefs.
Kansas City's winning. 27-26.
I will note, just off the Chiefs' schedule, the only times they played teams that actually had dominant and effective run games, were week 1 when they played the Ravens, in which they barely won that one, and week whatever this was when they played the Bills, in which they had James Cook in their strong games. And this week too, with the run game this week wasn't very strong.
I think
So
it
the
was a
Chiefs
strong run game, just not used.
Well, yeah, they just didn't utilize it enough. So the Chiefs really, in my opinion, haven't really played a really good rushing team apart from the Bills and Ravens. So I don't think they'll be ready for Saquon. And
Okay.
y'all can talk about the script all you want.
It's
The
not
Eagles
even
are
about
taking
the
it.
script. I've just kind of accepted the inevitable. I'd be super happy if the Eagles won. Okay, so that's your show. We're not giving you power rankings because there's 2 teams left. So those basically were our power rankings. Game of the week, Pro Bowl games, flag football.
Listen, it's still the Super Bowl, okay? We can diss the matchup all we want. We can talk about the Chiefs all we want. It's still the Super Bowl, okay? It
Well,
still is
yes,
this.
but it's not this week. So
You're right. So yeah, Pro
this,
Bowl games, flag
yeah.
football games.
No, no,
You're
no,
right.
no, no. In 2 weeks from now, it'll be the Puppy Bowl, not the Super Bowl.
All right.
Um,
Shout out to flag football Pro Bowl games.
we'll watch
For the
because
record,
we'll cover it for you.
at Football Anonymous, I'm just gonna full disclosure for ownership and credibility. I will not be watching the Pro Bowl games, but I will watch the flag football game.
Full disclosure, I will probably not watch the Pro Bowl games unless I have nothing to do at the exact moment they're on and I just turn them on.
I'll
But I
honestly
will
just
watch
forget.
flag football. So, yeah. And you know what? We'll do our research and we'll cover it here next week. So you don't have to watch if you don't want to.
But you
Because
probably
there's
won't.
nothing wrong with that. You probably won't. But we will make it fun. So stay tuned next week for the Footballers Anonymous Pro Bowl games. It'll be gas. Trust me. For now, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Please subscribe and follow us and whatnot so our stream later will be less long. Also, go subscribe to Tom Grossi. He deserves it. And donate to, I don't even remember which charity he's doing this time. He's done so many. But you should totally go donate to. That would be cool. Tom Grossi is a saint. Love him. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us, Footballer Nation. We love you all. Footballer Nation. Let's ride.